Let's be real, life is messy. We all wrestle with loneliness, guilt, and shame.
Having a supportive community and the right resources can make all the difference.
That's why we started Healing Unscripted.
We're just three friends on a mission to bring hope and healing.
Whether you're struggling yourself or walking alongside someone who is,
we're diving deep into the hard stuff.
With insightful guests, real talk,
and a whole lot of heart. Join us on Healing Unscripted.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Healing Unscripted. I'm Jen, and we're so excited to be your local community mental health and recovery podcast.
Hi everyone, I'm Liana, and today we have Sue Fegelein, and she's from Lift Up. She's the executive director, and we're so excited to have her here. So last week we had Melina Bricker in, and she is Lift Up's board president. And it was so much fun to hear her story, how she got involved. She talked about the programs. She talked about just the website and how to go on it. And her story just kept unfolding and unfolding. It was really fun to have her here. But also, I met you before at the pastor's meeting, and that was really fun. And I got to hear about all the things that Lift Up has going on. So that'll be fun to hear today. So thank you for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you, Sue, for joining us.
And Laura.
And I'm Laura.
You weren't with us last week.
I missed it. Yes.
Do you have any top questions right off the bat, or?
Oh, no worries. I'm going to let her jump into telling her how she came to Steamboat story. And then I will have plenty of questions for you because I missed last week.
Okay. So I was 20 and I'm from outside of Philadelphia. And I had a friend living out here. So another friend and I took the Greyhound here.
Oh, wow.
From Philadelphia.
How many days was that?
I forget. I want to say 3 or 4.
Oh, man.
Probably
Locked
4.
it out.
Wow. 4 days on a
As a
Greyhound.
20-year-old, I
Yeah.
would have gone bananas.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an adventure. And as soon as I stepped off the bus, I was like, oh, I'm supposed to be in the mountains. I just immediately felt it and had not been out west as a kid or anything. We didn't really travel or do anything like that when I was younger. I ended up moving in with somebody, a friend, who now we're still friends all these years later. And I went to get a job and I went to Winona's, and it turned out that they were from where I'm from. It was Fred and Winona Schwartz who owned it at that point. And I had gone to high school with their daughter.
No
So I got
way.
a job and I was like, I'm
Oh, wow.
staying.
Okay,
And I
wait,
just
what year
stayed.
was this?
Wow.
1992.
Okay.
That's so cool.
And so I just kind of slowly started taking classes at CMC. And then once I got my associates, I went to CU to finish. But then I didn't like CU because it felt really too big anymore after being here.
Mhm.
So I went to Durango to Fort Lewis to finish.
Oh, nice.
And I had met my husband here. And so we got married and came back up here and then left again and went back to Durango and then came up here and then moved around a bunch. And the whole time I knew I wanted to go to law school. So we finally went back to Durango and I did a study course through the college there to get ready for the LSATs. And then we ended
Wow.
up going to Idaho because I went to law school at University of Idaho College of Law.
Oh,
and
wow.
Wow.
Congrats.
It was
That's
crazy.
huge.
Yeah, it was a
So,
really busy time.
Was that something that you always wanted to do, or did that change in your travels, or did something happen that you're like, I want to go to law school?
It kind of got into my head. There was a woman who waited tables with me at Winona's, and that was her goal. And I started thinking about it then. And then when I went, my whole undergrad was mostly environmental. And I was like, I got to go to law school and save the world and do environmental law. But then the year I graduated was 2005, and it was so hard to find jobs. And so I found a job in a general practice firm in Sandpoint, Idaho. So I went there, and then I got into the world of high conflict divorce and custody and ended up
Oh, that's
doing that for
stressful.
9 years. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
So
That's
was
way different than environmental
Yeah.
law.
I mean, you kind of it was small. So it's a small town. It's a really cool small town, but you end up doing whatever comes in. So, criminal work,
Sure.
landlord, tenant, civil, everything, but mostly that. And then I switched firms and was a partner in another firm and still did that. But I was totally burnt out. And once I had kids, I couldn't stop putting their faces into the case, and
yeah.
thinking, and I was
Oh,
just
yeah.
stressed all the time and working like crazy. And I was doing a lot of pro bono work for nonprofits. and I realized I need to serve people in a different way. So I started really studying it. And then oddly, a job here opened running Northwest Rocky Mountain CASA, which is advocates for children in abuse and neglect cases. And I had been appointed to a lot of those types of cases in Idaho, usually as the child's attorney or sometimes a parent's attorney, and then like guardianships over kids and stuff. And 2 of my coworkers were actually CASA volunteers. So I knew all about CASA, what it was, what they did. I really valued their volunteers' reports because they were like, unlike a government report, they were very thorough. And it was like, here's exactly what's going on with this child because the volunteers would visit them all the time and knew what was happening. So when
I remember CASA. Is it still around?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. I remember CASA.
They're great. It's national, so they're everywhere.
Okay. That's awesome.
It's a great organization. And so I came
They're
and
still in
interviewed.
Steamboat.
Mhm.
Okay.
And they cover the whole 14th judicial district, so Route, Moffett, and Grand County. So I came and interviewed, and it was just surreal because my husband and I had always wanted to come back, and they're interviewing me, and they're like, "Well, you would need to be based in Steamboat, even though you'd be driving to Grand and Moffett." I'm like,
You're like, oh darn!
I know. And
shoot,
so,
twist my arm.
Yeah, it was like 5 interviews later, and I got the job, and we came back, and that was 2014. So we've been here since then again, and eventually I started serving on the Lift Up board, and then the executive director role opened, and I always felt like even though I'm serving a really important purpose, like I wasn't serving enough people. And that was just this driving thing always, like you need to serve more people, serve more people. So I applied and got it. And so
you're
that was 9 years ago.
You have a server's heart. That's
That's
awesome.
it,
Right?
Yes, you
It's
do.
important.
Or seeking that out.
Yeah.
Where does that come from?
I don't know. I really don't.
Okay.
In the beginning, it was just environment. And then it kind of switched over to people.
So you said it back then. So when was that? What year did you join Lift Up?
2017.
Okay. So that was serving one of 10 in the Route County or?
Route County, yep.
And now it's what, 1 in 7?
Yeah.
So that's a jump.
Makes sense, though.
Yeah. Do you think it's 1 in 7 because how populated we're getting?
No, I mean, I think it's because the cost of living has changed. Because really, when you look at the census, it hasn't jumped that much. I mean, since 2017, but the cost of living has gone crazy. I mean, it was already crazy. And then after COVID, it was like outrageous. And now the cost of food, I mean, we hear it all the time with people coming in just. So I'm not sure what all Melina said, but we serve folks at 300% of federal poverty level. So for a single person in a household, that's around $3,900 a month for income. And that's pretty good. And you could, you can come and shop once a month in the food bank or twice a month to get more produce, specifically for produce. And then we have other programs like government programs. And then in the front, we, like she said, have the grab and go section. So anybody can come and
that
grab
was
food
cool.
and
we
walk
didn't
out.
know about that. That was really neat. I was like, and I already forgot in a matter of a week. I was like, I want to go take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Because I didn't realize how plentiful.
Right. And does it go to waste? Is it set out so it doesn't go to waste?
No. So we participate in a grocery rescue program with all the supermarkets, Walmart, several restaurants, Starbucks, Maverick, like all kinds of places. And so those foods are more perishable. And also when you participate in that, you have to take whatever they give you. So like cakes and sweets and things like that. And so we put mostly those foods up in grab and go. A, because they are more perishable more quickly, and B, because we don't want people using their points on sugar in the rest of the food bank.
Right.
But we always try and have fresh produce up there. We can accept opened bags of dog and cat food, and we divide them into littler bags and put those up there.
That's really cool.
We just try and put whatever we can. And we get a ton of from the bagel places, we get tons of bagels. We get really good bread. Like we always have really good sourdough from Smell That Bread and Bread the Bakery. And so my whole point is, when you're at that income level, one cart of groceries can actually make a really big difference right now. Like I know you guys, you were just saying, like going to the grocery store, it's $100 at least for 2 bags of groceries. And if you have hungry kids and stuff, like just using the food bank can help offset it
quite a
that's
bit.
wonderful.
That's something interesting to mention too about the dog and cat food. So like my older brother, he lives at poverty, and the little money that he gets on disability, he has many cats and those are his children. And so all of his money, once he pays his rent, goes to feed his cats. So he's not getting food.
Yeah.
So
And that's what we're trying to avoid.
Yeah.
It's like, other places can accept dog and cat food, but usually it has to be unopened.
Okay.
So like if a bag at Walmart rips or something, they'll send it to us and we can bag it up. So people
That's
so
have nothing,
smart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I kind of want to touch on the fact that earlier you mentioned that you used to be a DJ.
Oh,
I need to know where that fit into everything.
yeah.
Before we go too far into the future, I just want to
was
hit
that
on
here in Steamboat?
It was here. It was on KFMU.
Cool.
I was like the overnight DJ, and this is like when we had albums,
Yeah.
Wait, what year? I like years.
Gosh.
I like timelines.
I think it must have been like 94 or
Okay.
93. And it was just like at that time, it was like me and the people at City Market. And I would just
Right.
go in and start making pots of coffee because I worked, at Winona's. I worked at 2 jewelry stores. I did overnight DJing. I was going to school.
Wow.
Like I was just like making it, like I'm going to make it here. And I only lasted, maybe 6 months. I am not a person that can stay up all night. So I
No,
learned that
me
about
either. I'm not
myself,
either.
and it was a fun experience though. It was just, it was a fun time. Like Brian Harvey was still there. He was there back then. And
Oh my
it
gosh.
was just,
Of course he was.
so it was crazy, but it was really a fun experience.
Okay, question. What do they give you the lineup of the music that you're going to play that night, or do you get to actually pick? I always wondered that.
It was back then. It was a lineup. People could make requests. But
Oh my
you
God!
had
And wait
what
for
you
your
were gonna do.
your song to come on
So
the
that you can hit
radio,
record on
so you
the
can break up with
cassette.
someone on the over the radio. Sorry,
It was
or expose a crush
Yeah.
over
Yes.
the radio.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't get a lot of that, but we would have little contests, and it was the folks overnight at City Market. So yeah,
That's
Oh, that's
too
cute.
funny.
it's fun. Yeah.
That's cute.
That is fun.
Okay, so one question as we kick off more on Lift Up. Tell us, set the record straight. How long has Lift Up been here in Steamboat?
So 30 years. This is our 30th anniversary.
That's a
Oh.
long
Yay.
time.
Yeah.
Yay.
We started in 96 and we kind of arose from the churches.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of pastors serve folks, as you know, and we're always trying to serve folks with food and emergency financial assistance and things like that. And they got together and decided they wanted to have a place that actually did that. So it was more of a one-stop shop. And they teamed up with the first ever leadership Steamboat group. And then they started Lift Up. So it was a tiny thrift store and a tiny food bank over on Oak Street.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
wow.
think I remember it over on Oak Street.
by the Methodist Church. It was
Yep.
over there. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so that was 30 years ago this year, which is
Wow.
crazy.
Wow.
How are you guys going to be celebrating 30 years?
Yes.
Well, we're kind of still deciding. We have a lot going on with our capital campaign. And so we're trying to combine efforts. We're going to try and do a groundbreaking celebration probably in June. And we'll combine 30th anniversary with groundbreaking. And then we're going to have another concert for Lift Up at Snow Bowl in September, on September 23rd. And that'll also be part of our 30-year anniversary celebration.
Okay.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, we're super excited.
That's
Yeah.
really exciting.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Can you do, since I did miss, can you give us a quick list of the programs that maybe Lift Up started with and where you are at now with all of the programs that you offer?
Yeah. I think in the beginning it's actually pretty similar to where we are now as far as what we offer because it's basic needs. So, and I apologize, I don't know everything that they started with, but I know it was food and thrift store and probably some emergency financial assistance as well. And so now today we have a food bank in Steamboat and we have one in Oak Creek. And then we also have a free community food box in Oak Creek outside of the library. So it's just like a little metal box full of food so people can walk up and grab food and
Wow.
walk
That's
away
great.
whenever they want.
I didn't
That's
know you
really
were in Oak
cool.
Creek.
Yeah. And then we've got our emergency financial assistance. So we offer assistance in an emergency situation with rent or utilities or medical, prescription, mental health costs, glasses, dental, utility costs. And we also serve folks in a transient situation. So, like if somebody's stuck in town, which happens more than you'd think, like people get abandoned here,
Yeah,
or
we've heard
I've heard
that.
that.
yeah,
Yep.
they're just getting out of jail or they're unhoused, and we don't want anybody to freeze to death. So, the way that we serve them is trying to, well, they can get food, obviously, and things like that. But we try and get them to a place of support. So, we try and work with them to say, do you have family anywhere? Do you have a meds provider anywhere? Do you have, even if none of that, would you like to go to somewhere where there's an actual shelter, like Denver, and then just work with getting them a bus ticket in that situation, or a gas voucher if they're
Right.
stuck and they have car problems or something like that.
That's really good to know. I don't think
Yeah.
we learned that last week.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Or the
That's a
glasses or
lot.
the dental.
Right.
Yeah, we
That's
do
new.
that's big.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
huge.
And then
Yeah.
we also have a scholarship program called Hope for the Future scholarships, and those are for high school students, but also adults who are pursuing, a trade or college or a master's, or sometimes just like
wow.
licensing for something. Like
Yeah.
we get all
Yeah.
kinds of applications
Well,
for
that's
that,
great.
and that's great. And then also we do vouchers to the thrift store. So if folks can't afford what they need, they can go in the food bank and get a voucher to list out what they need and then come and get it in the thrift store.
Okay, so you cover everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all,
try.
that's all you had to
Yes.
say.
Yeah, yeah.
Everything.
I mean, I would have had no idea walking into the thrift store because I go there all the time and, donate stuff and then go look for something for my kitchen that I need that my mom used to have, and I can always
Yeah.
find it there.
It's so funny.
It is
I love
great.
it.
And
You
I
know-
like to tell people, like, if you donated at the donation center or you shopped in the thrift store, then you fed somebody. You helped your neighbor.
And don't you offer a tax write-off too? Because I thought I heard someone offer that last time I donated.
Yeah,
You
so
said, would you like a receipt or something
yeah,
like
you
this?
can
What is-
take
tell
your
me about that.
receipt and claim that on your taxes. But recently, because we're doubling our size and we're doing this capital campaign to get there. We're going to break ground in June. And in part of this process, we applied for what's called an enterprise zone tax credit status. And so now, and we got it, which is amazing. So now almost all of our programs, as well as donations to the capital campaign, if you donate 250 or more, you get a huge tax credit if you pay taxes in Colorado. So it's like a 25% credit on the 250 or more off of your taxes. And so that's a huge
That
bonus
is
as well.
That is a
That
good
is huge.
incentive.
It's really
Wow.
great.
That's
And
so
then
good to
like
know.
businesses get a percentage as well if a business donates or even gives in kind. So it's we're really lucky that we got that, and it's appealing to people, especially
Yeah.
people who give a lot of money, because
Yeah.
25% is a great credit.
Huge. Yeah.
That is 20. Yeah, that is a great
Mhm.
credit. Okay, so I'm going to say something that is just out there and I've heard people say, but I want to correct people today and kind of shed light on a different perspective, I guess. So I've heard people in the past say, "Oh, I want to donate, but I don't want to donate to Lift Up because they charge people. They charge in the store, so they make money."
In the
In
thrift
the
store?
thrift
So hold on, yes.
Okay.
So, and I never had a rebuttal. I was like, okay, well, I guess that's your business. But it's so good to know now and to let people know that, yeah, you charge, but where that money is going, and it's to all these different programs, and it's to helping the community, and that's why they need to donate to Lift Up, and it's okay that you charge, whatever that means.
Yes.
I don't know. I never
Well,
dug too into it. I just know, like, they're like, oh, they charge people for it, so I don't want to donate. I want to like donate to somewhere where they're going to give it away. I don't know.
No, your
Yeah.
rebuttal is the people who really need it get the voucher and they get to go in and shop and pick things up.
Yes.
The people who can pay are helping to continue to fund.
Yeah.
So if you have the money, you can. And if you don't, you get a ticket to go in,
Yeah.
which you need.
But not only that, but
It's
now there's
very
dental
good
and the
now.
glasses and the emergency and the rent and all
Right.
the different programs. Obviously, you have to self-sustain as well, and I think that's amazing. So I kind of just wanted to get that out there, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, and we don't everything's grants and donations other than the thrift store. And the thrift store, we're shooting for just over $1 million in sales this year, and that's less than half of our budget. But that money helps with our programs and our operations so that we can be there for our community. And we're so lucky as a nonprofit to have a funding engine like that because most places don't,
Right.
And like you said, if people want items that they can't afford or they have needs, they can get a voucher for it. And also, we work really hard to keep our pricing really low for things that are super special or we want to sell for higher. We have an eBay site and we put it on eBay and sell things there that we could, if we get like gold jewelry or something that we could actually help fund a whole bunch of snacks with or
Yes.
whatever, we will sell it on eBay. But in fact, we're having a pricing meeting again next week. We work really hard to keep our prices low, especially things that are really basic needs.
Right.
And Melina was saying that you provide the snacks for Boys and Girls Club,
Not Boys and Girls Club.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's called Rocket Pack, and it's healthy snacks for kids. And it's a great program. Nothing's over 8 grams of added sugar. We work with all the school districts in the county. We're serving around 650 kids a week right now. And we have our food resource coordinator puts the menus together and orders the snacks. We get most of them from Costco. We really price shop regularly to see where we can get the cheapest ones that are of the quality that we need. And also, if you have kids, they need to be similar to what their peers are getting. They can't be something weird. We go through all kinds of revisions and we get fruit. And then we have a group of women from the Heart of Steamboat Methodist Church come every Monday and put the bins and snack bags together for all the schools.
Wow.
And then staff and volunteers take them out to the schools where they get distributed. And what I love about it is any adult can sign up any child for it. So it's teachers and counselors and nurses who are seeing children who don't eat during the day.
Oh, that's great.
Sign them up.
Yep.
And the kids either need to be low income or food insecure. And there's questions on our application that would indicate that. And then they
That's
send us
so
the
huge.
application and we send the food. And we make it very, there's no indication that it's from Lift Up because we don't want the kids to know that. And they just get handed snacks and they don't even know where it came from.
That's
Oh,
so
that's
beautiful.
lovely.
Yeah, I love it. And then in the summer, it switches. It's snacks and lunches. And our numbers drop because we do need parents to come and pick it up in the summer, and they can shop in the food bank and pick up their Rocket Packs. But it's just not the same quantity because we're taking it to them during the school year.
Yeah.
Because we can kind of get it to the schools and it's easier. But it's a fantastic program, and it's really important.
Would kids that are already signed up for that during the school year be able to go? Like, it's just say my son's 14. He's all about this town, via scooter, via his skateboard, whatever. He's just out and about. So would he be able to pick up a snack pack? Not like he's going to. I'm just saying a kid who is signed up for it, would they be able to come, or does it have to be a parent?
I think we could probably arrange it. Like we could just tell, it's a very tight, small organization, relatively. So we could just tell Thomas, our food resource coordinator, like, hey, this kiddo's going to come and pick this up instead of his mom, and we'll just have it ready,
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Just because a lot of these kids are
Yeah.
so independent in this town, especially.
And if their
So-
parents are working,
Yeah. And a lot of them like to go out towards the skate park or
Yeah.
on the bike path right here. And
Yeah, it's
so
pretty close.
it is really close. It's amazing.
So what was the push for the campaign? Was it that you guys were really because I see you guys busting at the seams every time I go there.
Yeah.
Is it something more than that?
It's mostly that. So, I'm our grant writer as well. And so I've been writing it in grants for years because they always ask, like, what's your biggest need or your biggest
Law
challenge?
degree face off,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, right.
I love it.
Yes.
I'm a total nerd. But
Oh, that's great.
I've been saying for years, our biggest challenge is our space. So it's on so many layers because staffing, we have no more room for staff. We have about 42 staff members and about
Wow.
300 volunteers. So we're
Oh my
cranking.
gosh.
So, like, we have a director of people who also used to do volunteer coordination, but the HR is too big, and we had to split off and have, like, a part-time volunteer coordinator because our volunteers are so important and deserve that level of attention and, focus and scheduling and everything else. But we had no place to put that person, so we ended up, like, sticking a cubicle in another office, which used to be the
Yep.
copy room, and now it's 2 offices. And then we've got, people working from home because there's no space. We're sharing our conference room. So staffing was its own issue. And then a bigger issue is if you've been to our food bank, we can fit about 7 shoppers with carts at a time. It's not huge. And when you work out the numbers, that's where we are right now. I mean, averaged out over the year, we're at 7 people an hour during our open hours. So not only do we need more space for people to shop because we, want it to be an experience of dignity and we want it to be nice and pleasant because nobody wants to go to the food bank.
Right.
We try and make it as great as we can and certainly affording them more space would be part of it. So we need more room for shoppers and then for our back stock items. So for Rocket Pack, for example, we can only order and fit like 1 week's worth of snacks at a time. And we could be
Mhm.
saving money if we could order more than that at a time
Mhm.
and be
Right.
more prepared for
Yeah.
crazy things happen and all of a sudden the order doesn't come because it snowed and the truck driver can't get here and we don't have enough and things like that.
Yeah.
We need that space for
Mhm.
backstock. And then also we don't have any private meeting spaces for clients. And so if someone comes into the food bank to the way our caseworkers work is by appointment because they're so busy, they have to set appointments. But regularly, people come in with an emergency that's like, my power is going to be shut off tonight. I need help right now. And so, what we have to do in that case is somebody goes over to the food bank to meet with them, kicks the food bank manager and food resource coordinator who share an office out of the office and sit down and meet with them. And it
Oh,
feels like an afterthought, and it's really
yeah.
not, but that's not fair to the
That's all you
client.
have. Yeah.
Right.
And when people come in initially, they're sitting at this tiny table to fill out their applications. And really, people need more confidentiality and
Yeah.
more privacy.
Yep.
So in the new space, we'll have these little meeting rooms for when people first come in. So they can go sit in there, especially if they have kids, they can go sit in there with let their kids run around while they fill out the applications. And they're not like trying to watch their kids run around the food
Mhm.
bank. And then if they need an emergency appointment, they can go upstairs to meet with meet with the caseworkers in what will have new offices upstairs for all the staff and
Mhm.
caseworkers. So we need more space all around for clients. And then also the thrift store and donation center. Most people know who are familiar with us, the donation center is open Wednesdays, Fridays, and now Saturdays. And the main reason is we don't have any more room for any more stuff. Like we get to points where all the bins are full
Mm.
and
Mhm.
we'll do things like we have Connex truck things outside, storage
Yeah.
trucks
Mhm.
that keep like our seasonal items or maintenance things like the snowblower in the summer or lawnmower in the winter, things like that. There's just stuff in there. But we'll start filling those up, or we'll put up one of those tents like you'd see at the farmer's market and put bags under there, or we'll put them in the conference room or my office. Like we just get so full.
Wow.
We get on average like 600 bags and boxes every donation day, which is
Oh my
amazing.
gosh.
Wow.
Yeah, but so we needed more space to process and to put the people to process. We
Right.
just
Mhm.
don't have the physical space. So we're gonna right now it's the donation center, then it's offices between the donation center and the thrift store, and then it's the thrift store. So the donation center is gonna push into all the office space, and the thrift store will push into the new building, and then the rest of the first floor of the new building will be the food bank, and the top floor will be administrative staff. And one thing that we do right now to help is also, if you've ever been there, there's a truck outside always, a truck bed, like a big 18-wheeler truck bed.
Mhm.
And we work with another nonprofit in Canyon City called New Horizons. And they're just like us, but bigger. And they have some more programming and they have a huge thrift store. And they work with rag markets and they can recycle things like books and shoes. So as we're processing bags, if we get things that are ripped or stained or torn, or we come to a push point where there's physically no more room to put the bags, we can put them on the truck and that truck fills up every 2 weeks
Wow.
and they pay us $1,750 a truckload, and they just come and swap it out. when we need it,
Wow.
and it helps
Nice.
them because they're a
Yeah.
very similar
And it helps
nonprofit.
you
Yeah.
because you get the
And it helps
money.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I
and it
never
keeps
knew about
stuff out
this
of our
truck thing.
dumpster,
This is
for
a
sure.
very good thing to tell people.
Yeah, so we're really,
No, because I never even saw this truck. So
it's great, and it's part of, like, we're a green business now, so we're at the silver level for a Colorado green business, and that's part of it is we try and be really sustainable. Like, even in the food bank with food waste, we have people who come in and take it for their goats. Like, we try really hard across the
Yeah.
board to not have waste because it could easily become waste and not only be bad, for the environment, but also really trash service is really expensive for a nonprofit. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So in every way we needed to expand, for our clients, in our departments, and for our staff. And it's just the more we try and squeeze staff into spaces, it's like, this is crazy and ridiculous. Like, we
this
have
is
to
a good
solve
problem
this.
to have,
Yeah.
though,
I
for
was
Yeah.
any
just gonna say that.
organization.
Yeah.
What a
I
miracle.
mean,
It is great.
Well, and we're,
Thank God.
and that's what we're trying to tell
Because he
people, like,
started in a basement.
yeah.
Like, how crazy is that?
And
And now
now
you're
it's
going to go
like,
full blown. And I
it's
do have to
crazy.
say that everybody that I know that volunteers there
Mhm.
says nothing but amazing things about the whole of everybody, like
Yeah.
just the whole work environment and the people that work there. It's just an enjoyable environment that you guys have created. So thank you for that.
Yeah, that's great.
Yes,
I
yes,
love
and they love
that.
it. They love going to volunteer there. So are you going to be accepting more volunteers?
Oh, yeah. I mean, part of our expansion, there isn't. So, like I said, most of our funding is grants and donations. There's not unlimited funding for staff, and we're not funded by the government. So people know that we do administer to USDA programs, but basically that's TFAP and US and senior boxes. I don't know if Melina told you that, but that is
No.
so one's TFAP, which is the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and that is for Colorado residents at 200% or lower of federal poverty level for income, which is we serve at 300%, so it's a slightly lower level. And that is people can come in once a month if they qualify for TFAP, and it's like a box full of food plus usually like frozen protein and berries and things like that, and take that. And then we do another program that's USDA. It keeps changing names, but it's been called Everyday Eats or Evergreen or CSFP, and it's boxes for seniors.
Mhm.
It comes all boxed up and sealed, and then it usually comes with some milk and cheese also, and that's a much lower. It's, I think, 135% federal income level. So we do administer to government programs, but we are not tied to the government. We don't report anything to the government, and we don't um, have any government grants, which I'm thankful for this past year because
Yeah.
that would have been a problem because a lot of them got cut.
Mhm.
So just to let people know that that's, our funding is grants and donations, usually from foundations or individuals. And so there aren't unlimited resources to pay staff. The thrift store sales can help with that and things like that. But part of our growth will be focusing in on developing our volunteer team, and doing different levels of volunteers. So we might have a lead and other people can shadow that person and just changing it up altogether to really be able to handle the growth. Because we have volunteers in every department doing all kinds of stuff and it's awesome. Like one really cool thing is if you've been there, we have these raised garden beds outside. We just moved them out front because of the coming construction. And we team up with a whole group of kiddos from Yampa Valley Autism, and they grow food in the food bags, and then we use them in the
That's
food
great.
bank. And
That's
it's a
really cool.
fantastic,
So cool.
relationship, and just, things like that from volunteers picking up grocery rescue to working in each department, helping in, I mean, so many ways. So they're invaluable, and we have to grow that team as we grow because there's no other way we're going to be able to do it.
Right.
You said that you're breaking ground in June. It
Mhm.
sounds like breaking ground is like right around where you're already existing.
It is.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what's going to happen is we still have 1.2 million left to raise, but we're hoping we're going to be able to do it, even if not by the time we break ground soon thereafter. So we're going to break ground no matter what in June because we've been working with the city and county. Our team working on this for us is Paul Brinkman, who's amazing. He does a lot locally. Chancey Keenan's our architect, and then Andrew Picking is the construction guru. And they've worked together. They did the Yampa Valley Community Foundation building. They did the addition on United Way, and they're known for doing things on time and on budget. So they're amazing, and they've been doing all the city and county work that needs to get done and approved for us to move forward. So it seems like everything is going to be approved for us to move forward to break ground the first week in June. And so what we're going to need to do is relocate the food bank for a year, and we're looking at specific places right now to be able to do that. And we'll tell everybody as soon as we know for sure and sign the lease where that's going to be. And then they're knocking down the food bank building where it is right now, which used to be the funeral home a long time ago. And then they're going to build, and it's going to be attached to the current building and then be 2 stories high. So it'll branch off of the end of the thrift store and then grow into 2 stories. And there will be an entrance from the bus stop side and the parking lot side, so people will be able to come in and turn whether they want to go to the thrift store, the donation, or the food bank. And then we'll still have the entrance down at the donation center for donation days, but that's going to be all different, and it'll be like a circle. So when you come in to donate, you walk out another door, and it's going to be very streamlined and lots of spaces to put bags and process them. So
That's very
it's gonna be great.
exciting.
That
Yeah.
sounds
Yeah.
wonderful.
It really made the most sense once we started looking the cost that it would have been to purchase land and build something completely new. And it's so important to be near a bus stop because a lot of our clients
Yep.
take the bus.
It
so
is.
all these things
You
would have
guys
had
are
to
in a
align,
good
and it would have
spot.
been
Plus,
so
right there by
much.
the jail and the courthouse
Mhm.
and just accessible.
Yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
location.
One thing that we should get through is that I don't want people to feel like they have to be there or even titled low income to take advantage of those services, because $3,500 a month necessarily isn't low income.
Yeah.
And I know that that's a stigma that I think bothers some people, and it's a pride thing, and you really have to humble yourself, right? But it doesn't have to be like that. Like it really can just be like, hey, it's available for everybody. It's okay to go. I've gone. It's helped me with my kids at many times, and I have nothing but amazing things to say about Lift Up. I was always treated with dignity. I remember walking in the door. I don't know where I got the stigma from, but the first time I walked in the door, I felt almost ashamed that I got to a place in my life where I couldn't afford food for my child. But then once I walked in, it completely changed. And I just want people to know that it is not like that. You have nothing to be ashamed about. Like it's an amazing program.
Oh, I'm glad that that was your
Yeah.
experience. And we
Yeah.
do try and spread the word, because a lot of people are surprised that they qualify. I mean, teachers, so many people,
Yeah.
are at an income level
Anyone
that they
with
would,
one job in this town.
yeah, they qualify.
Basically.
And we tell people that, like, people feel like, oh, I'm not in poverty. I'm not the poorest of the poor. Somebody needs this more than me. I hear that a lot. And it's like, well, that might be so, but we're here for you too. Like, come in and use this and get a leg up, or put something in savings, or just be able to pay all your bills one month
Mhm.
because you have free food. Like, just use it.
Mhm.
That's what we're here for. And
Right.
there's no shame in it. It's very hard. It's so hard to ask for help or to receive help.
Mhm.
And like I said, nobody wants to be there. Nobody
Mhm.
wants to shop at the food bank. But our volunteers are amazing. Our staff are incredible, and they really want it to be a good experience for people, and just kind of like going to the store, like it's
Mhm.
no big
Right.
deal. This is what we do here, and
Mhm.
and you're going to be treated well. So
Right.
I'm
Mhm.
glad that that was your experience.
And I would, on the stigma side, I wish I would have had time to look up some statistics, you guys.
Mhm.
But I would feel like, to throw it out there, something like 75% of people at one point in their life will need to ask for help. I mean, we have before, when we were starting off, we had to. We had nothing, and we were pregnant. And
Yeah.
there are times when you're like, oh, I have to do this. But it was like, well, this is what we have to do. We have a family and a kid, so we're going to have to do it. But the same as you age, you're going to have to learn to accept that there might be times where you need to accept some extra help. And I don't
Yeah.
know if you have a number on that, but I know it's got to be more than 50% of the population will at one point in their life, maybe 2 or 3 times, need extra assistance
Yeah,
somewhere.
and I don't have a number on that, but it could be anybody.
Yep.
Anybody
Mhm.
can lose their job. Anybody, you know, we serve a lot of folks who there's a sudden cancer diagnosis, whether it's themselves or the breadwinner in the family, and suddenly everything has changed and they need
Yeah, that's
assistance now and they need the food bank now, and it could be any of us, you know, and it or just strange situations, and these are like our friends and neighbors we see in the supermarket every
Mhm.
day. You
right.
know, it's people
Yeah.
who something unexpected happens, or it's people, you know, who are working 3 or 4 jobs and cannot get to the level they need to be at, especially with rent going up and up and
Mm.
up. We'll work with other organizations to try and find what you need, or we'll write a grant to one of the giving circles, or hook you up with, you know, a community navigator from the health partnership or whatever it is. We'll try and find it if it's not something we can do, you know? And so it really is worth trying because
Mhm.
we'll try really hard to make sure
Mhm.
you can get back on your feet.
And I think that says something about our community more than anything
Mhm.
else.
Mm.
Yeah, this community is amazing. And we
It
really,
is.
the nonprofits here, as well as like the Department of Human Services and others, we're super collaborative and we're always working together to make sure if there's a gap coming or if there's a gap in
Mhm.
services right now, like who's going to meet it? What are we going to do? And then we have another group that we started a few years ago called the Route County Food Security Watchdogs. And that's uh, everybody who's distributing food. So it's like Lift Up, um, public health, the churches who do meals, all kinds of different folks. And we meet every other month and talk about food security. And we try and put an article out in the summer and the winter to let folks know where they can access free and low cost food. And we have certain goals we try and meet. But, you know, we'll have Department of Human Services in there so we can talk about, you know, okay, what's coming with SNAP? Is anything getting cut? And folks from Northwest Colorado Health who run the WIC program for moms, you know,
Mm.
is what's happening with WIC? What do we have to watch out for? Who's going to cover this gap? And so our community is incredible. And not only, you know, with collaborative nonprofits, but my experience with Lift Up is, you know, I don't put out a call often like we need money or we need food. And because I reserve that for the times that it's really
Mhm.
serious. And when we do, like this community
Mm.
totally steps up and it's just like
Mhm.
takes care of it
Yeah,
How
immediately.
do you
very
get that word
generous.
out?
Well, we'll put it out to like our volunteers. We'll try and
Mhm.
do a press release. The radio, usually if it's something for nonprofits that's we're not trying to raise money or, you know, we have a situation that we need assistance with, we'll put it out
Mhm.
to them. Definitely social media. We'll put it on our website.
Okay.
Anything we can think of, a lot of word of mouth. And then like to HRC or whatever, if there's a shortage and we let people know, everybody steps up. People are really
That's
passionate about
awesome.
making sure people are fed and taken care of
Mhm.
in this town. It's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not, it's the
That is
whole
incredible.
county. We're really fortunate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so those applications that you were talking about that people come in and fill in, and sometimes they have kids running around, and
Yeah.
can they print those out online?
Yep, they're on our website. It's
Okay, cool.
liftuprc.org, and there's our applications and the guidelines, the income guidelines are laid out right there so they can see if they qualify. The caseworker phone numbers, it tells you everything you would need if you were applying for like financial assistance. There's a list of documents you need ahead of time.
Mhm.
That's great.
It's all laid out so it's easy to access.
Yay.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
thank you so
wonderful.
much for coming. I
Yeah.
feel like you guys are definitely doing something right. I mean, 30 years in this community and still thriving and
Mm.
growing and new buildings coming and all of that.
And
Yeah.
You're
we
doing
have a
something
doctor
right.
and a lawyer
Yeah,
and
a
like a
DJ.
DJ, all the people involved. It's so cool.
Uh-huh.
Well,
Well, thanks.
and you have melded your career kind of dreams together, I think, because I mean,
True.
and food and feeding people and being sustainable with what you are receiving, you have melded them
Oh,
together.
yeah.
So, like, what a cool purpose that you have and that you're serving here in our community.
Oh, well, thanks. I
I
didn't
think
think
it's
about it
lovely.
like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Hmm.
We're lucky to have you.
Yes.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Sue, so
I
much for
appreciate
coming
it.
on.
And we'll
Appreciate
be
you.
sure to promote your upcoming
Hmm.
campaign, through social media as well. So if you
Thank
need
you.
us for anything to help with that, just let us know.
All right. Well, thanks for having me. This is wonderful. You guys are doing a great job.
Thanks,
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
everybody.
Thank
You're doing
you.
a great job, Sue.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.